I'm coming. Ta-da. Meat and shea butter. I see you all. There's Yolanda. Good morning,
Good
Yolanda.
morning.
Yeah, can you help me?
Of course.
Please and thank you. I'm almost ready. There you go. Grand Rising, Shanice. I trust everyone can hear me. And because I know sometimes internet's kind of tricky, but we'll make it work. We're all here today. Well, let us begin. How to use emotions for your benefit. How do we use these quote unquote pesky emotions? Hi, David. How do we use them? Well, you see, if I say something to you that you don't like, it happens so quickly. Or if somebody says something to you that you don't like, you have that thought. It really happens very quickly. It's a rapid fire thought. How dare you? And then you feel it in your body, yeah? You feel it in your body. And you go through the day and you're mad and you're stomping and you're grumbling to yourself. See, emotions are quick bursts of energy. That's what they are. But why? Because they boost. What are they boosting? The vibration, polarity, cause and effect is boosting them all. It's pure, raw energy. Now, when you use them correctly, when you use your emotions correctly, you quickly polarize yourself in the direction you want to go in. Or you quickly polarize yourself in the direction you don't want to go in. Think about this for a moment. See if you can recall a moment where somebody pissed you off. Oh, yeah. See it? Remember how that felt to your body? Now, can you remember a time where something happened or somebody said something to you that resonated with you? Oh, do you notice the difference between those two things? You see, emotions are not there to piss us off, you know. They're not for us to just stomp around. That's not what they're for. How do you actually use them? Well, let's say you wanted to create whatever that thing is, synovia. Say if you wanted to create something. Remember, Neville Goddard says to you, what would it be like? Now here's wise use of the emotions. What would it be like? How can you make that thing feel within your body when you think of it? When you think of, I need a new apartment. What does that feel like? What do you want it to feel like? Then when you sit and think about the apartment, I have such a great view when I look out my window. It's real quiet. I can see the trees. I can see the mountains. Oh, and yes, I can hear the birds early in the morning. And my neighbors, I don't even know they're there. What does that feel like in your body? Now, does that not feel amazing? That you can look out the window of your new apartment and see the mountains. You can see trees. Minimal traffic. But yet you can walk somewhere to the nearest coffee shop. You see some good friends. Ah, now that you can see that, that should make you feel a particular way in your body. You're like, oh, that's nice. I want to experience that. Well, then, here's when someone says to you, you already have it. Dr. Joe Dispenza is famous for saying you have to make that a reality now in your mind. Neville Goddard says it too. How do you make it a reality in your mind? By feeling it in your body, by conjuring it up, the image of it. Now, not for all ladies, but some. But for most gentlemen, if you say, ooh, I have this brand new ride, and when I step on the accelerator, ooh, it has a deep-throated growl like the Porsche Cayenne. Ooh, how's that make you feel if you want a new vehicle? Yes. Right. You feel it. That is what your emotions are for. That is how you use the emotion. You use the emotion to confirm the image you have in your head. Use the emotion to confirm the image in your mind. Why? As within, so without. This is how, when Esther Hicks tells you to bring there, here, you don't have it in your hand physically, but you can have it in your body and your imagination immediately. And so when you do that, you do it over and over and over again. You see, now you have polarized yourself because you're leaning where you want to be. You're using the emotion, right? And you're leaning where you want to be. Ah, I see you, Lou. It's just like if you look at your charts and graphs and you say, okay, look, here's what I want today. I want big gains today. What would big gain feel like in the market for you? Well, you'd be excited, wouldn't you? Your heart would race. You'd be eager to tell somebody. And you could literally feel the bankroll. You're like, yeah, I did that. And you know what it feels like in the body. Here's another example. If you think about someone you care about, it could be your dog, it could be your cat, it could be that significant other, it could be anybody. And you care about them. And you say, oh, I'd love to see them today. I'd love to talk to them today. You see that feeling? You just, you think of them and you sigh. I can't wait to see them. You see that emotion you just felt? You confirmed that you wanted to see them because of how it feels to you. So what did you do with that? You pushed that vibration outward, law of gender. You pushed it outward. And you confirmed within what you wanted to see without, on the outside. But look at how it works the other way. When you think of that person and you're just like, and you grind your teeth and you're like, this person is so frustrating. I can't stand them. As within, so without. You've just used your feelings, your emotions, to confirm what you have on the inside. Cause and effect. Now you end up either getting a phone call, or you see them, or you see someone just like them, but with the same outcome. Does that make sense? So now when someone tells you, you gotta feel the thing. I mean, you have to feel it. What does it feel like to, sit down and think about that. What does it feel like? What if you got a raving review or raving reviews on your screenplay? What would that feel like to you? You would look in the mirror and you would preen and you would say, damn, all these people like my stuff. And look at what that one person said. Oh, the message moved them. Wow. You get a physical response in your body. This is why you can hear things like, your mind doesn't know if you're telling it the truth or a lie. It doesn't know if you're recalling a memory or if it actually happened. That's why you can hear things like that. Use the emotion to confirm what you have on the inside. That is always the best way to be in alignment with the laws. How are you going to be in alignment? The law of correspondence, as within, so without. It means what? You confirm. You're not contradictory. Because, listen, we do it all day, every day, don't we? You got that coworker that's just rubbing you the wrong way. What does that emotion tell you? That they rub you the wrong way. That's why you're upset when you think of them. But what if you flip it around? What would it be like if you went to work and your workplace was polite, people were respectful of one another? Oh, that would feel good, wouldn't it? Because you wouldn't dread getting out of bed to go to work. So you see how you have the capability of changing your situation. But you've got to change it within you first. Why do you want to change it within you? You want to change it within you so that when you project it outward, you know the image you will get back. You want to confirm those things. You got to have the blueprint that you project outward. That's why be cognizant, recognize. You better recognize what you're doing. You're driving down the street and somebody cuts you off, and the next thing you know, that finger goes up, you roll out the window, what the, and you having a complete meltdown. You've just confirmed how that person made you feel. But what if you got into your car and before you turned on the ignition, for you gas-powered people, not electric, if you do that and you say, you know what, I got smooth traffic. It's nice and easy flow, and we gonna get to our destination with plenty of time and safely. Oh, how does that feel? It feels like, but this is nice. I'm gonna be on time. And it feels good to your body. As opposed to, before you turn on the ignition, man, I better not meet a fool. Best not be any congestion in traffic. Oh, no accidents. Where's your attention focused? Because then that has a different feeling in the body. So pay attention, because you are in control. Emotions don't rule you. You choose them. Oh, Angela, how can you say you choose your emotions? Am I choosing your emotions? If I choose your emotions for you, then I am in control of you. Do you want me to be in control of you, or do you want to be in control of yourself? Ponder that for a moment. Just ponder it for a moment. Do you want to be in control of yourself, or do you want someone to be in control of you? Well, now that you've answered that question, I know you want to be in control of yourself. Then allow that burst of energy to be in your possession at all times. Why? Because if you turn on the radio and you hear what some celebrity said or did, or or some family member said or did something, and you flip out, that burst of energy was used to polarize you. And why is that important? Because when you polarize yourself in a particular direction, that says you want it. And you don't just want it, but you want it now. Because it's a burst of energy, is it not? So when you're going through the day, dictate what you want to happen. Just be the boss. And you feel what that feels like in your body when you say, I'm the boss of me. You're like, yeah, I'm in control. I use my emotions wisely. Yeah, because you know why? I decide how I want to feel and how I'm going to respond and how I'm going to use that burst of energy. Yes, I'm going to do that. And that makes you feel good. The chest comes up and out. Eyes lift up and you make square eye contact. You give a firm handshake. Oh, zinga, I see you. So you see, use the emotions for your benefit. That way, nobody's going to come along and say, let me mess with them today. Now, why would someone say that? Because your past behavior has shown them how to treat you. See it? Use your emotions wisely. Dictate how you want to be. So that now when you say, you know what? I would like, I don't know, free coffee. How does that make you feel? If you're a coffee drinker, something free that you'd like. Just for shits and giggles. Something you would like. How does it make you feel when you think about that thing that you want to have? Ooh, that'd be so nice, wouldn't it? And that's what you start to tell yourself. And you begin, now when you tell yourself that, oh, that'd be so nice, you start to rehearse and behave the way you would behave if that thing were before you physically. For some of us who like celebrities, what if you got to meet, I don't know, Henry Cavill, Superman? What are you going to say to him? Well, that's what you rehearse. How would you behave when you met him? Soul of a man. How would you behave if you met him? Or that particular celebrity? You see, you can feel that. You can feel it. Now, whether it was a person, or Batman, how would you speak to them? Right? Zenobia. You see what I'm saying? What would that feel? What would you say? How would you react? Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Or would you be cool, calm, and collected? That's what the emotions are for. Because you know what? When you use that burst of power, that burst of energy, now you say to yourself, this is what I want to happen. And you polarize yourself in that direction. And once you polarize yourself there and you hold that polarization because you are eager to meet that person, what do you think is going to happen? Dun, dun, dun. You'll meet them. You see it? That is how you use your emotional boost of energy, like nitrous oxide in an engine. You electric people won't know about that. Right? But that shot of energy. Because that shot of energy should match the image in your mind. Do you see it? You always want to be matching. Correspondence, as within, so without. And the longer you sustain that match, you shorten the distance between thought and physical thing. That's what I'm telling you today. This is why you use your emotions wisely, because it works in the opposite direction. Believe me, I know all about that. Pro arguer here. You know how many arguments I had to have because of that? The argument in my head is what I lived on the outside. And you're always unsettled. But today you don't have to be unsettled anymore. You don't have to be. Because now you know, if you say, I want a new job, how are you going to feel with that new job? Because it is everything that you want. You're going to be doing a shuffle. Yeah. That James Brown footwork. Because why? Look at that. I wrote down everything I wanted in my job. How I wanted to feel at my job. You fall asleep with that. That feeling in your body. Yeah, that's my gig, baby. And you tell your closest friend, because you can hear the inner conversation that you're having, and it matches the outcome that you want. You don't even have to tell anybody. You can just imagine telling that person and hearing them respond, because it matches what the desire is on the outside. And you're picking out your clothes your first day at work, and you're like, yeah. The desire, the new job, when you begin to use the energy of your emotions to feel it in your body, you already have the job. How do you know you already have the job? Because you are rehearsing it. Your body is feeling what it is like with your new job. The two things match. And so the longer you hold that and sustain it, because that is what you are already doing. Naturally, we do it. Then the job materializes. Because you have to keep projecting it outward, planting the seed over and over until it takes root. But what do? We get that flash of emotion with the thing that we want, and we just keep in a state of, oh, I want that, I want that. No, 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 no. You don't want anything. You're creating it. How can you want it if you can create it? Oh, say it again. How can you want it if you can create it? So you look through and you say, oh, okay, that's required. All right, step one, what is required? What is it that you want? And step two is, okay, what's that going to feel like in my body? What's that level of excitement going to feel like in my body because I have it? Without the image of the thing, remember, thought, word, action, all happens at the same time. It's like a quick domino effect. So if you say, oh yeah, that thing is required. Okay, what does it feel like? The moment you conjure it up in your body, what it feels like, that emotion of having it, do you not have it? How can you generate the emotion if you don't have it? You do have it. You have it. That's how come you can conjure up the feeling of it. That's why Neville Goddard said to you, what would it be like? Oh, isn't it wonderful that you have it? You start to have that visceral response in your body. You know what I'm talking about if you want to get a little... Think about that thing, that person, and that burst of energy is used to thrust it outward by way of law of gender. And you keep thrusting until the seed is planted, which is polarity. It is polarity. Hold yourself in that state. That's why you can't take a day off, because when you break the momentum, you have to start over again. And yes, Synovia, that is the discipline required to hold yourself in that polarized state. Takes discipline. It means you hold yourself there in spite of what you might see on the outside. You already know it's there because you feel it in your body. How do you think you end up going for ice cream? Because you can damn well taste it on your tongue. You go, oh, Lord, look at. I have to have this taste in my mouth. I would love that flavor of ice cream. And then what do? You go get the ice cream because you tasted it in your mouth already. So you already had it. And because you already had that taste, the law of correspondence tells you, well, as within, so without. So you go and you get it. But what do most of us do? We talk ourselves out of it. We talk ourselves out of it. You know you want that ice cream. The next thing you hear is, well, I shouldn't have that ice cream. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. And you talk yourself out of it. And then you say, oh, but I really wanted that. We talk ourselves out of things. For whatever reason. Whether you feel, oh, I should or I shouldn't. That wouldn't be good for me. Or I'm not worthy of it. All those things we tell ourselves. And then what happens to us? Because that energy wasn't used, it kind of fizzles out, huh? They call it a dopamine response. And if the dopamine response has not been satisfied, you end up feeling worse than if you'd have just followed through with it. Science is confirming all these things. But the law is telling you exactly what you're doing. So today, what are you going to do? Will you allow your emotion to just run amok? Or will you harness its power? As long as you know what it is that you want. Because as soon as you know it and you can name it, what does it start to feel like in your body? Because you should be able to notice the difference between you're talking yourself out of it or you're talking yourself into it. You're talking yourself into correspondence or you're talking yourself into contradiction. Actually, you're always in correspondence. If you say, oh, I really want that, let me make it. Make the feeling of it in your body. You are in confirmation. But if you say, I want that, but maybe, I don't know. All of a sudden, now the thought of not having it has that feeling in your body, and now you've just confirmed you don't want it. Does that make sense today? Ray of sunshine, I saw you. If that makes sense to you today, practice. Practice. What are you going to practice? Step one, what is it that you want? Step 2, make the feeling. Yes, make the feeling in your body. Make the feeling in your body. People, it's called foreplay. Foreplay does not begin with a touch, you know. It begins by stoking the embers of the imagination. And what happens to you viscerally? Well, the body responds, does it not? And when the body responds, you know that you've been polarized in a particular direction. Do you see it now? Does it make more sense to you? I trust that it does. Right? Soul of a man. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Does that make sense? What you are doing when you create, this is why you don't want it. You are creating it. It feels like a want. But the image that comes up, for instance, if you say, you know what, I need some cash money. Right? That image comes up to tell you what you're going to create. So stop saying, oh, I don't have, because that is a lack of something. But if you say, oh, I'm going to create this. Remember, it's like foreplay. What does it feel like to have money in your bank account, in your wallet? You don't even got to worry about paying bills. What does that feel like? How you going to talk to yourself? You know what I'm saying. You get that text, oh, I can't wait to see you later. All the things I'm going to do to you. It is the same way you talk to yourself when you create what it is. Because your body has a visceral response. So the next time somebody says to you, you gotta feel like the thing that you're creating. How does a house feel? How does a house feel? How does it feel when you walk through each room and you lean up on the island in your kitchen and you look at how big your chef's kitchen is and you're like, look at my gas stove. And you start to see yourself cooking on that gas stove. It is the same thing. Right? You've got to stay there. Yes, Mozinga, stay in it. You have to stay there. Listen, if you remember one thing from today, remember foreplay. Why? Because it is the most blatantly obvious example of how you put yourself into a situation by, you're not observing it, you're living it. And you stay there all day. Why? In the anticipation. You don't fall out of that polarity at all. Oh no, you stay there in that anticipation, in that eagerness, in the thrill of it. That's why you stay there. So then your job, your house, your car, what? That doesn't deserve the same feeling? Well, it's exactly the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. You got your butt on that heated seats of your brand new car and you can feel the heat on your booty. Come on. You don't want your car. Create it. See it. See every contour. Hear the music as you drive down the street. You've captivated every person on the block. They're just looking at you like, oh. Now, we don't want things. To want it, conjure the image. And once you conjure the image, conjure the feeling. The feeling in your body. And stay there with it. Don't stop to say, oh, I don't see it yet. Because you've just removed yourself from where you want it to be. And the longer you stay polarized in the direction that you want to be with that visceral feeling, you shorten the distance between from your brain to your hand. Meaning you shorten the distance from you don't physically have it to physically having it. But you must stay. You must stay polarized there. Revel in that feeling as long as you possibly can, as frequently as you can throughout the day. And you know what that also brings with it? It brings with it peace. Why? What do you mean it brings peace? Because you know what you're getting. That's why you can relax. Fancy that, eh? Does that make sense to you today? Of how to use emotions for your benefit, as opposed to wasting the energy. That's like just having your car idle in park and you just revving the gasoline. You got your foot on the gas, revving that engine, and doing nothing. But we don't do that anymore, do we? Purpose. Shoot, Agent Smith just flashed into my mind when I said purpose. Purpose, it sustains us. Yeah? Know why you're doing what you're doing. So when you go about your day to day, remember, it's not that you want it because you don't have it. You want it because you need the image of the thing you want so you can create it. And that visceral feeling in your body, as with foreplay, is your fuel. Because it will keep you focused. It'll keep you focused. Sal, it'll keep you focused. And because you're focused, you can only go in that one direction, the one you're focused in. And is that not what you want? That is why if you give your attention and that energy to unwanted things, well then, ask the question again, YouTube, because it just flashed and I missed it. I'm sorry. If you give your attention to unwanted things, your body has that same exact visceral feeling and you confirm it. The law of correspondence. The thing that's got you agitated on the inside is the thing you will experience to agitate you more on the outside. This is why your discipline, your practice of discipline, is to keep your attention upon that which you want to experience. Do not waste that emotional energy on willy-nilly foolishness. Exactly. You stay focused, Synovia. You stay focused. Ah, Mozinga. Now that's a good question. Yes, you can. I'll tell you why. Here was the question: can you heal a physical scar using this same technique? According to Neville Goddard, you sure can. Here's the story from Neville Goddard. There was this, I think she was either an aunt or a grandmother, but there was a baby who was born with a physical, like a scar on his face, like a birthmark, and it was quite shocking to see. And the mother took him everywhere, to everybody who could, what can I do to fix it, blah, blah, blah. And so she went to one of Neville Goddard's lectures. And he said to her, when you think of this little boy and you see his face clean. Just see it that way. Now, the visceral response would be her interacting with the mother. Because the mother is now, oh my God, it's gone. And so her interaction with the mother creates that visceral feeling in the body of elation, of, oh my God, he's not going to have to be picked on anymore. And do you know what happened? Well, cause and effect, right? You can predict the effect. She came back and she said to Neville, Neville, it's gone. The scar is no longer in his face. The birthmark is gone. That's the story. So again, using that visceral response in your body to tell you this is happening right now. You see it? Like I said, you might doubt me for that visceral response. But if somebody comes along and talks to you the right way, you know what I'm saying? Let's go back to foreplay. They talk to you the right way. Your significant other, you get that text. Your body has a response and ain't nobody touched you yet. It works the same way for everything that you are creating. It works the same way. So, practice. Know what it is that you want because you can see it. And once you see it, you no longer want it because now you're going to generate that feeling in the body. And once you generate that feeling in your body, that emotional response in your body, stay there. Stay there in that polarized state, in the direction you want to go in. Remember, polarity, left and right. Move yourself in the direction you want to go. And stay there. How long does it take to show up? That depends on you and the intensity of that emotional response that you had. And the only reason why we know, because let's go back to bamboo, right? The only reason why we know that bamboo takes as long as it does is because somebody persevered and watered that field, even though not one single shoot broke above the ground for 4 years. That's how come we know about bamboo. It's the same way we know about labor and delivery, 10 months. Persevered through it. As Neville Goddard says, everything has its appointed time for its expression. That's why, if you know the cause, you can always predict the effect. Right? So you know it's already there. Just keep yourself focused in that direction. That's how you use the better man. That is how you use your emotions for your benefit instead of to your detriment. This is why I tell you, make sure that you observe what is happening around you with the laws. What are the laws? Mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. Correspondence. As within, so without. As above, so below. Vibration. Everything vibrates. Ooh, polarity between two poles. Creating a what? A rhythm. An ebb and a flow. Causation. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. Gender. A projection, masculine of the will, giving life, giving form, feminine. Those are the principles that govern all of creation. You and I are not exempt from creation. You understand? We are part of creation. So we too are governed by those principles. And so it is in your best interest to use them. Use them. That's what it is. And in that segue, coming up in April, I'll be teaching the laws again. Every quarter, I'll teach the laws so that we have a better understanding of them. And then January 27th, Eastern Standard Time, we will be implementing the laws. So you can DMs with your question. Oh no, I want to change this. We're going to teach you how to use the laws step by step to get it. Because this is important. Why is it important? Because you are tired of being frustrated with where you're at in your life. And we're not supposed to be frustrated with life. We're supposed to be excited and to experience things. That's the difference between you being excited about life and living, and then something from the outside saying, no, I want you to live this way. You don't have to follow that. Now, let's acknowledge who's all here. Twitter. Jupiter. Shea Butter. Thank you for being here, my lovely friends. It is a pleasure to see you all here in the Twitterverse. Fan base. I'm not ignoring, just so you know that. I tend to not scroll once I get started. Who's here on fan base? Oh, ho, ho, ho. L. Matthias. Shanice. Yolanda. My Melanin. Onyx. Jess. Hello. Summer Rose. I missed you, Summer Rose. Let's see. Miss McQueen. KZ. Zola. Miss Ravioli. Cece. Lorna. I see you. Now, YouTube. Mozinga. Synovia. The Better Man. Soul of a Man. Sal. Empress Ella. Thank you again, Soul of a Man. Ray of Sunshine. I know you'll catch the replay, baby. Let's see. I'm trying to remember, see who's all here. I think I said Empress Ella. Yes. Sonia. I'm just reading your comment. Yes. Let's see. And David. I see you all. Synovia, that's okay. It's an app on Apple you can download, or Android. Fanbase, it's brilliant. That's what I wanted to share with you this morning. How we can do those things and accomplish them when you use your emotions for your benefit. Use your emotions for your benefit. And how are we going to do that? Remember, you have a visceral feeling in your body when you think of something or someone, right? And you see how the feeling makes you feel in your body. You'll know if that's where you want to be looking at or if you don't want to be looking at it. How so? The vibration, right? Because everything vibrates, including that thought. So when you know those things, put them together. Step one, what do you want? Because you can see it. And now that you can see it, create the feeling in your body because now you have it. And it is only a matter of polarity and how long you stay there that you go from empty-handed to a full hand. Does that make sense? I trust that it does. Slide into my DMs if you've got questions. Oh, what was that? How can we heal emotional scars? That is a beautiful question. Let me put it into words. The emotional scar. Someone did something or said something to make you feel a particular way in your body. It is the body that remembers the incident. The body remembers the incident. And because the body remembers the incident, because it was quite, shocking, the incident, your body now is always looking for something that is similar to it so that it can protect you for its survival. So to heal the emotional scar, when that memory comes up in your body for the incident that happened, remind yourself, oh, that's a memory. It's no longer happening. And here's how I want you to feel instead. That's what you physically tell your body. Here's how I want you to feel instead. Why? Because it is a memory that is held in the body. And so to put the memory where you want it to be, you have to form the new memory that overrides that emotional scar, that emotional memory. So you have to feel the new way that you want to feel. You have to feel the new way that you want to feel instead. And when you feel that way, every time the old memory arises, you tell it, oh, well, that's just a memory. We're not back there anymore. Here's how we feel now. It's polarity. Remember the pendulum. The memory is swinging you in one direction to make you feel that way. But you put the pendulum where you want it to go. You put it in the new direction, the new feeling. Why? Because the emotional scar and the memory of it is a habit. It is a habitual way you have of feeling because the memory in your body will look for something that is similar to that. Because it's trying to protect you. It doesn't want it to happen again. Does that make sense? So now here's this from Mozinga. So to not create what you don't want, you just ignore the thought or replace it with something else. We don't ignore, we don't sweep things under the rug. We acknowledge them. And when you acknowledge them, you can say, oh, I don't want that, I want this. You redirect, not ignore, redirect. Because you have to acknowledge what is happening. It's your body is saying to you, hey, remember this? And you say, yeah, we not back there anymore. We're here now. Because there are no voids. There's cause and effect. And in order to change the effect, continually redirect yourself to the new cause. right? Redirect yourself to the new cause. But to know the new cause, you have to acknowledge the old one. To say, from that to this. That's why we don't ignore, and that's why we don't sweep things under the rug. You must use it from to. You're redirecting. You're telling yourself, we're going from there to here. You're moving from a stumbling block to a stepping stone. Does that make sense? I'm coming to that question. Is forgiveness a part of healing emotional scars? What another beautiful question. Forgiveness is the letting go of your attention from what you don't want. I'm going to say it to you again. When you hold unforgiveness, you are walking around with an open wound. And the law does not see who that wound is from. The law only sees the wound within you. And as within, so without. So to get rid of the wound, aka the unforgiveness, you look at it and you go, you know what? I don't want to walk with that anymore. So from there, where do you want to go? From to. That unforgiveness is just an umbrella. It's an umbrella. It masks the actual thing, the hurt. So when you say unforgiveness, what is it that you don't want to forgive? What injustice is it? Name it. Why is it important for you to name it? You lied to me. You betrayed me. You see, name it. So that when you name it, you can say, you know what? Betrayal happened in the past. We're moving towards trust now. From betrayal to trust. What does trust feel like in your body? It is a sense of security of self. You're not trusting them, you're trusting you. Because if you have trust within the self, you will experience trust on the outside. So it is not unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is the blanket or the umbrella. What is it hiding? Is it hiding hurt? What kind of hurt? Name it. Because when you name it, you can take yourself from to the new. Polarity. You betrayed me. How can I ever trust? Again, go from betrayal to trust. So it's not that it is unforgiveness. You see, because when I say unforgiveness to you, you start to think of all the things that, but this person did this. I can't forgive. Because you think it is about them. That's what that word conjures up inside your body. But if you name what is underneath that umbrella of unforgiveness, you'll be able to take yourself from the betrayal to trust. And you see how it doesn't have anything to do with the outside person? That's the problem with that word unforgiveness. It makes you look outside, when in actuality, you must look within to see what is being hidden. So you can take yourself from, that's why we don't ignore things. Name it, and then point it in the right direction. Does that make sense? I trust that it does. Don't worry, I'm learning today too. I'm learning today. Yes, go ahead. Is that Shanice?
Yes.
Go ahead, honey.
The question that was before the last question, you got
Mentalism?
Yeah, the law of mentalism.
Yes.
I like that. That law fits to me because everything is mental, meaning, okay, so I can, if I have a bad thought, the universe is mental, so I can change that thought. So I go from a bad thought to a good thought. That's how I see that one.
You are absolutely correct, because in all actuality, there's only that one law, mentalism. The other 6 are telling you how mentalism works.
That's my favorite law. I like that one.
Yes. Because if you think about it, it always comes down to the thought. And the thought on the inside has to match the experience on the outside. What? Because it moves. It has its own vibration. And with that vibration, you can move through polarity from to. Yeah? And you are constantly moving from to something, which creates a rhythm. And that rhythm is triggered by causation. What's the cause? The thought. The thought has the effect. And the thought is always projected from the masculine side of the brain to the feminine side. That is, I love you, Shanice. That is exactly what is happening. There's only mentalism. Say it to me again. My internet just did something foolish.
I love you too, because this is, that I was talking about, yes.
It works. It works. Sonia, when we are having a feeling, negative or otherwise, should we feel the feeling and then let it go, or should we go against it? Okay. To go against something, I think I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to say how these words come. To go against something, you're pushing against it, right? And if you're going against it, it will persist because you're looking at it. You're looking at it. You say, I don't want that. So if you see what it is that you don't want, you don't fuss about what you don't want, but you swing the pendulum. What do you want? From anxiety to calm. From to. We're always swinging from to. From to. So it's we don't push against. That takes too much effort and energy. But you go towards. Recognize what you're swinging from. That's what you do. You recognize it. Oh, I see you. But we're going over here to this. That's how you do it. Does that make sense? I trust I answered that question. Nessa, is crying an emotion that the universe sees as negative, or will that create negative reaction? Crying is a thing that happens. It's kind of like urination, defecation. It's a thing that happens based upon a trigger in the body. When the bladder is full, it must be emptied. So crying is a way you are releasing something. And once you've released it, where do you want it? Where are you going from? Or what are you going to? Right? It's there because it's telling you something. Full bladder is telling you, hey, we got to do the pee dance. Right? So tears will do that. They bring a release from something, and now you decide, where am I going to? And you use polarity to do that. Soul of a man. At times, we get so lost in our emotions that we forget the last thing that the last time we cried or worried about, and it worked out just like whatever is happening now. You're right. Because we do tend to forget, don't we? Because we allow the emotions to overwhelm. That is not wise use of the emotions. You don't allow them to overwhelm you. Listen to what they're telling you, interpret the information, and then employ the law. This is what we do with them. That's why, as my father says, when you rush the brush, you waste the paint. Right? But that's what it is. I trust that something resonated with you today. And Miss Tiffany, I didn't see her this morning. I trust that whatever resonated with you today, you will take it with you and you will use it. Let's recap one final time. When you know what you want, right? You know what it is you desire. You're like, oh, that's helpful to me. I can use that. Well, then you create it. As opposed to what we normally do. I want that. Oh, I don't know if I can have it. I don't know if I can have it. I don't know. That's not possible. That's not the question anybody asked you. There's nobody to deny you anything but the one in the mirror. Yeah, but that's not possible. I don't know. You don't know my life. I don't believe these things. See all of that? That is how we talk ourselves out of what we want for our freedom. We keep ourselves in bondage by the way we speak to ourselves, or we set ourselves free by the way we speak to ourselves. So when you want something, it doesn't mean you don't have it. It means, oh, that's the image of the thing I'm going to create. That's why when you want it, you have it. This is why in the Bible in James, it tells you if you believe that you have what it is that you have prayed for, it is yours. What is that telling you? The law of correspondence. As within, so without. So conjure the image of what it is you want. This is why people have vision boards, yeah? So they can see the image. Now that image is going to create a reaction in your body. And when it creates that reaction in your body, that emotion, as Neville Goddard says, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Well, yes, it is. Oh, it feels so good. The moment you can conjure up that physiological feeling, it's done. You have it. Because the body works in such a way that a memory versus what's happening now, the body does not differentiate between the two. So this is why when you call up a memory, you can relive it. So conjure up that feeling, and I equated that feeling to foreplay. Because we all know that visceral feeling foreplay has in the body. You're walking around and you all giddy, like, yeah, and you're not giddy on the outside. Nobody knows what you're feeling, but you do. And you're all excited and you're like, ooh, but you didn't look at your clock and say, taking too long, so it ain't gonna happen. The workday is not done. So it can't happen yet. Right? So stay polarized upon the desired outcome. That visceral feeling in your body is confirming to you you have what you want. As within, so without. And that's how we roll. That's how we do it. I'm just gonna make sure. Most thank God. Oh, Miss M. Why, thank you. Sonia, thank you. Because my screen is blank until I scroll up on it. I don't see things because I'm so fired up over here on this side where the bright light is. Thank you very much. But this is what I'm saying to you this morning. Use your emotions for your benefit. So if somebody comes along and they pissed you off, you better stop. Stop. And you ask, is this a benefit to me? No. Well, how do I want this situation to go? What kind of experience would I like in my workplace? What kind of experience would I like in my relationship? Y'all arguing all the time? Oh, stop for a minute. Why are you always arguing? Before you even get home, if you driving or you on the bus, you arguing with this person in your mind already. As within, so without. The thought or the inner conversation you're having on the inside is what has a visceral response in your body, and sometimes these things happen like that. Some people say, man, how can I manifest an argument so quick, but I'm trying to manifest money and it ain't here yet? Because there's more emotional power behind the argument that you're having in your head than the money. When you think about the money, you're not thinking about, Scrooge McDuck, and you're rolling around in it. You're not thinking that. You're thinking that you open up your wallet and moths come flying out. But don't let me preach today. Whew. Do we use other Bibles as well, like the Quran, Hindu, or other ones like that? Or just the Holy Bible? Or Nessa, what a great question. I grew up with the Holy Bible, right? I didn't grow up with the Quran or the Torah. I didn't grow up with those. But every holy book has the essence of the law within it. That is where they all get their origin. So it doesn't matter which holy book you want to use, right? It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong here. The essence of the law permeates every holy book the same way it is in your DNA. That's why you can use anything to get yourself towards the law. That's why the law is never hidden for those who have eyes to see it and ears to hear it. Does that make sense? Oh, no worries, my beautiful darling. No worries at all. But I trust that makes sense today. I trust it makes sense. Man, you guys got me so... Listen, when I tell you that the law will stir you up, now that the law has you all stirred up, see if you can stay in this state. See how long you can stay in it. This is a good vibration. And when you are in this space, this good vibration where the law has you and you are in awe of it, revel in that. Take your time and stay there. Marvel at it. Because when you are there, where are you? The secret place of the Most High. That's where you're at. You are in actuality now fully seeking the kingdom of God. And what happens when you do that? All these things are added unto you. What things? Food, shelter, clothing, abundance. You don't have to fret or worry about anything. When you conjure up that feeling of awe, fascination, of, oh my word, look at what the law does for me every day, all day, you'll be rendered speechless because there aren't any words that you can say. Not a single one. You just got to lay there like a cat. After he's been in the catnip for a while, you're just spent. That's all you get to do. And if you can get up in the morning and conjure that feeling up in your body, do you think that you will be lacking anything? You'll never lack anything because you don't actually lack it. You can make it. So that's what I'll say to you today. Because YouTube over here telling me it's been 74 minutes. But y'all are just still here. And I love each and every one of you. Every single one of you. And I appreciate the contributions this morning as well. Over there on YouTube. You got, man, y'all. I'm not going to cry today. I am not going to cry today. But I will revel in the fact that these laws, if I would but use them, and use them diligently, I will elevate myself. Not because you're better or worse than anybody, because there is none of that. There's no superior, inferior. There is only the law. And the law always tells you, see yourself as your best. Why? Because when you see yourself as the best, as within, so without, then the best, now the people around you will rise to the best of themselves. That's how you help your neighbor. That's how you love your neighbor as you love yourself. Come on now. That's what the scripture means when it tells you love your neighbor as you love yourself. As within, so without. That's the law of correspondence. That's all I'm going to tell you today. Yeah. So thank you, each and every one of you. And remember, slide into my DMs because January 27th is, what's today? Today is what, 12? I forget the date. I forget the date. It is the 12th. Get your questions in for the Q&A workshop because we're going to go through each question step by step. So by the time we finish question number 27, you're confident to know what to do. And then again in April, we're going to learn the laws. So share, tell your friends, right? This is not a secret that we hide in our bosom. We don't hide our light under a bushel, but we shine it for the world to partake in. And it starts with me, and it starts with you. That is your word of the day, Empress Ella. Ah, here's a good question. What about when your neighbors don't love you? This ain't got nothing to do with your neighbors. You see, it's not love your neighbor the way they love you. It's love your neighbors the way you love you. So it doesn't have anything to do with your neighbor. Love your neighbor the way you love yourself, and your neighbor will rise to the occasion. Why? As within, so without. That's why you love your neighbor according to how you love yourself. Not, don't condition your neighbor. And let me tell you, some neighbors are harder to love than others. Believe me, I know. But love your neighbor as you love yourself. Because as within, so without. Mozinga, I know, right? Mozinga said he's out here and he's all excited up. But that's what it is. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything else. Everything is possible. It's exactly everything is possible. Right? So there. That's the word of the day, my beautiful friends. How to use emotions for your benefit. You heard? I've always wanted to say that. Anyhow, let us initiate this countdown. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. You know where you can catch the replay, right? You can catch the replay on Twitter or the replay on YouTube, but you can catch the replay. 1. Much love, my beautiful friends. Much love. You guys are awesome, man. You guys are awesome. You're absolutely awesome. Oh, snap. There's 20 people here on YouTube. Yikes. Y'all are awesome. You really are. Let me, Shea Butter. I see you, baby. Queen, I see you. Oh, Solo, I see you. Malcolm, I see you. Meep, honey. Yeah, I see you. Oh, Because we're still here, right? We're still here. Miss A, hello. Oh,
Hey, Miss Positively, how you doing?
oh, I am well, darling. And yourself?
Doing fine, long time no see.
I know it's been a while, right? It's been a hot minute. Miss Creatia, I see you too.
Greetings. I'll be waiting in the audience.
Oh, see, sometimes, and when I get all caught up like this, I don't always scroll down or scroll up, I should say. Yeah. But that's it for today, my beautiful friends. As I tell Brother Lance, because every Monday we do Bible stories on Lance Scurv on YouTube, because Bible stories are important. You find the law in the Bible stories. And I always tell him, you leave them wanting more. But practice, my friends. Practice for the love of God in all things. Practice so that you can come on here like Miss Tiffany and Javion and tell of your quote unquote testimony, how you use the law. You understand? That's what it is. Well, I leave you with that, my beautiful friends. I leave you with that. Ah, Behemoth, you're back. I see you, but baby, you're going to have to catch the replay. Jackie, beautiful kids, girl, you're going to have to catch the replay too. Right? But I will see y'all later. And remember, February 1st, nighttime guided meditation will return. And for those of you who are seeking deeper understanding, you can find me on Patreon.
How we find you on YouTube?
Oh, Positively Angela.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, my dear darling. Same every platform.
Thank you so much.
Who said
Thank
that?
you.
Oh, Jess, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Alrighty. Oh, Queen. Hello, Queen.
Hello, beautiful. I love you, Professor. I just wanted to say I love you. And I think you have a beautiful day. Keep beaming, keep shining, and keep being inspiring. You're amazing. Thank you so much for everything you do, all the work you put in, and everything that you taught me and directed me. I thank God for you.
Oh, thank you, Queen Marat. You are awesome. I absolutely love you, and I look forward to hearing your testimony. I sure do. I sure do. Oh, look, us Bajans are getting fired up in this chat today. That's right, we ain't going home till morning, eh? Right? Oh, I love you all. Now go, and with this same eagerness, practice the law. Live by the law. Because what does the word tell you? Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. And what is that word? The law. So live by it. Huh? That's all. Alrighty then. I'm see y'all later. Much love, Twitter. Much love. Twitter is closed. Because I know my phone gonna ring any minute now. Fan base, I love you all. And we'll be here. Miss McQueen, honey, I see you. I see you. And we shall reconnect in the morning. Much love. YouTube. I can pick up my phone now because my room is dark. And I have to traumatize anybody. Thank you all for being here on such a lovely day. Ah, Miss Ravioli. You have a beautiful day. And thank you all for being here, Miss Ravioli, Sonia, Empress Ella, Zenobia, Mozinga, Nessa, I'm scrolling. And thank you again for your extra love today on YouTube. That would be Asonia, Ms. M. Soul of a Man, I see you, darling. And I know that Muck 45, I didn't even see you show up, honey. And there you are. Thank you for being here, Muck 45. The better man. It is good to see you here as well. Sal, yes, thank you for being here. Ray of Sunshine, honey. Thank you for being here too. I know you had to go early. Make sure I get everybody. And David. Greatly appreciated. This is why I always go back to shout out everybody who spent this time. Yes, Muck 45. Because I'm so used to seeing you on Twitter, but now you're over here on YouTube. I love it. Because, you know, I have one device going, and that's my phone with YouTube. So, thank you. And again, slide into my DMs if you have more questions, because January 27th is around the corner. Is in what, 13 days or something like that? Oh, look, I just know it's on the 27th. In about 15, I don't know how many days that is. But anyhow, I love you all, and I will see you again soon. Yes, Mrs. Sonia, you are welcome, and love always. Much love.